The Louisiana State Trooper who revealed the pattern of misconduct and excessive force against black folks will be fired after his 5-week unpaid suspension ends. At the same time, the accused officers, they remain on the job. Trooper Carl Cavalier is fighting back and is taking legal action against the state of Louisiana. Cavalier alleges he faced racial discrimination and that his whistleblowing activities led to the suspension. The former Louisiana State Trooper joins me now from Homer, Louisiana. Now, folks, we also reached out to the Louisiana Department of Public Safety for a comment, and this is what they sent us. This came from the head of office, public affairs officer, Captain Nick Manale. Trooper Cavalier received the decision of the appointing first of all, on or about May 5, 2018, petitioner began. First of all, this is the court filing from the trooper. So, Guy, pull the statement up, please, of the DPS. So pull that up, please. Thank you. Trooper Cavalier received the decision of the appointing authority to move forward with termination based on an administrative investigation that revealed he violated several departmental policies. It should be noted that our disciplinary administrative process is not finalized, and Cavalier remains an employee at this time. The disciplinary letter with policy violations will be made available when complete. Cavalier is due a fair and impartial process, and as such, the department cannot provide comment on any pending litigation. All right, Trooper Cavalier, glad to have you on the show. So, what you saw, when did this start, and how extensive was this abuse of African Americans by the Louisiana State Troopers?
Thanks for having me. So, when I first learned about Ronald Greene, it was in 2020, around about May. When the pandemic first really just kicked off and got going. I was in New Orleans, and I was detailed at the convention center where we held COVID-19 patients. And I overheard an investigator, on the Ronald Greene case speak about the video, about the gruesome Ronald Greene video. You know, at that point, up until that point, I haven't, heard anything about the Ronald Greene case. So when he spoke of it, he was speaking to a group of troopers. And I overheard him saying that the video was gruesome. When it comes out, the public is going to be enraged about it. It was worse than the George Floyd incident. And I heard him speaking about Ronald Greene gurgling blood and trying to struggle to breathe when the trooper came along and put his foot on his back. So from that point, I started making phone calls. I started, digging around, looking for more answers to questions I had.
So, first of all, the Ronald Greene video you're talking about, that particular story shocked many people, where they said he died in a car crash. Then the body camera video revealed how he was beaten viciously by Louisiana State Troopers. There have been other cases as well. And what you detail is an ongoing, consistent effort by Louisiana State Troopers beating black motorists, and then it being covered up and, frankly, not being dealt with by the state.
Yes, that's correct. The other cases you mentioned, there's one case, Joaquin Machado, Hispanic male. That was February 3rd, 2019. Ronald Greene occurred May 10th, 2019. Aaron Bowman, black motorist, May 30th, 2019. Morgan Blake, July 16, 2019. And Antonio Harris, May of 2020. So these black and minority motorists were being targeted and just pointed out by these white state troopers, as they just brutalized them, beat them, and had the leeway to cover it up because their supervisors were allowing it to go on. The supervisors were allowing it to prevail, and the administrative body and state police, they were allowing it to happen as well because the information was brought to their attention. Even as recent as this year, new videos and cases were brought to their attention, but they were just simply pushing it to the side, I guess, to try to save face for the department.
Again, we've seen the superintendent of the Louisiana State Police, an African-American, speak out on these issues. But what you're still dealing with is others who say enough has not been done to fix what's happening in this department. What else did you see? What else did you hear about that our audience needs to know?
Well, the fact that, we do have African-American colonel, but the thing is, in the public side, he's been very disingenuous. Coming off as someone, he don't have all the information. He don't know what's going on half of the time, but he knows exactly what's going on. As I previously spoke of, he was presented with some cases himself, and the rest of his staff were presented with new cases, new videos. But they just choose not to investigate it. They choose not to look into it. It were videos and cases that the feds didn't have their hands on. They could have very well opened an investigation into these cases. It's just want to save face with the public. They just don't want the department to suffer any more damage to his reputation. So I guess, from the outside looking in, it might seem like a relief to have an African-American colonel, but that's not the case right now. And it's not to slander him or his name. I had personal conversations with this guy, but he's just really not doing enough or not doing anything at all. A lot of Black African-American employees, state troopers with state police, are being quiet for the simple fact that he's passing out promotions. He's passing out these promotions, and it's keeping people quiet for the most part on things that they know.
Why did you come forward? What was there a tipping point where you said, "I've got to say something"?
Yes, of course. I've always known that. First of all, I've always been vocal. I've always been vocal about injustices and things that I deem, not right, unfair to anyone, no matter the color of, or where they come from or whoever they are. If it's wrong, it's wrong. I speak out about it. So I've always been known for that. And I filed a grievance of my own in 2018 when I started personally experiencing, racism for myself and discrimination for myself within the department. My tipping point with this Ronald Greene case is just that they murdered him. They murdered him. It could have been me. It could have been my cousin. It could have been my friend, Ms. Mona Hart, and Ronald Greene's mother could have been my mother. And I just, I couldn't imagine that being my mom and no one speaks out about it, and at the end of the day, me speaking out about these things is what I get paid to do. I swore and took an oath that I would do just what I'm doing, and that's what I'm doing. I mean, I'm not doing anything wrong. They asked me to do this, they pay me for this, and but suddenly it's a problem because it's being covered up by the department.
Do you believe that this department is definitely going to fire you? And when they say you violated department protocols, like what?
What they're saying on paper is loyalty to the department, which is a joke to me. Dissemination of information. A few other things along those lines, but it's all just things to, like I say, to cover the department and I guess try to paint me in a bad light. I just don't understand. I guess I understand it, but it just amazes me, it astonishes me that the department would go at this length to cover themselves and save face instead of just coming out and admit, their wrongdoings and separate themselves from the people who are doing wrong.
Questions from my panel here. I want to bring them in to this. Greg Carr, Department of Afro-American Studies at Howard University, Faraj Muhammad, radio and TV host, Reese Colbert, Black founder of Black Women Views. First question, Greg, goes to you. You on mute?
Thank you, Roland.
There we go. There we go.
Thank you, Roland, and thank you, officer. Certainly to hear that you've been suspended with charges of being disloyal, and I mean, it's utterly absurd on its face. But I just want to ask you, for all the women and men, for all the folk who are in law enforcement around the country who are human beings first, like you, what do you say to them when they see that you are literally willing to risk it all to expose these hunters, these killers, these paddle rollers, and who invade and infect us every day? What do you say to those folks who are looking at you saying, man, I wish I had his courage? And thank you, by the way.
Mm-hmm. You're welcome. Thank you for those kind words. I would say to those folks that there are more troopers, there are more officers, there are more employees like that, like me out here. It's just that, just like state police and many other agencies, it's set up systematically to where if you want to speak out, as far as what I'm doing, you want to do something like this, they're going to make an example out of you. They're gonna hunt you down just like they're hunting the motorist down, and they're going to try to, discredit you in every way they can. They're going to try to, like they're doing to me, take my money away from me. Try to put you in a chokehold, so to say, to make you give up, to make you tap out, to make you give in. They're going to send individuals at you to try to, persuade you to do other than what you're doing. But what I would say is what's important right now is just support from the public, support from, anyone is great right now, will be great right now. And I'm not talking about just money or anything like that, just a word, an email, or a message just saying, hey, keep doing what you're doing. We're praying for you. The prayers are great. It's just the support is very important for people like me to show officers who want to speak out, who want to have the courage to speak out, to just give them the encouragement to speak out. That's what I would say.
Thank you, brother.
Reese.
Thank you so much for your courage and what you're doing. I want to ask a question, and I don't mean this in a negative way at all. But my question is, why go back? I mean, you have been ostracized. You have been demonized by your department under this absurd charge of loyalty or disloyalty. Why go back to that situation where undoubtedly you're going to be hindered from promotions? You'd probably be getting worse assignments. Is this something that's worth going back to, and why?
Yes, my belief is if we want to change that place, that department, and many other departments, we need people like me on the inside. We need people like me on the inside to let them know, to put them on notice that, hey, you can't do these things. If, someone like me, standing by George Floyd and Derek Chauvin in that incident, I couldn't imagine, myself standing there while you kneel on a man's neck. You about to come up off his neck for sure. You're going to come up off his neck, first of all. Second of all, you're not going to do that in the first place in front of me because you know who I am, you know what I stand for. But in this particular instance, where I'm asking to be reinstated, my job to be reinstated, it's the principle of the thing. I didn't ask you to leave that job. I didn't do nothing wrong to leave that job. So I need to go back to encourage the people who want to speak out to say, hey, you can speak out and you can keep your job. They're going to run you through this ringer of all the things they try to run me through. But, hey, you could come out clean on the other end and still have support of the public and, anyone else who stands for right. So it's just the principle of it, and, of course, like I said, I didn't ask to leave the job. I didn't ask you to transfer me or anything like that. I spoke about things that I thought were wrong, a murder and a cover-up. You pay me to do this. I swore and took an oath, and that's what I'm doing, and I want my job back.
Faraji?
Trooper, thank you so much for joining us. Just a quick question. I'm wondering how many other black officers are standing with you at this time. Are you getting the type of support that you need and that you want right now from officers within the department, your colleagues, and are you seeing some greater support because of the high-profile nature of the Ronald Greene case? Are you getting some greater support from black officers around the country?
From around the country, it's here and there around the country, and that's from people I sought out myself. People who I've Googled, who I've went on Instagram and located and found. Dr. DeLacy Davis, I believe he's been on this show a few times, but he's a mentor to me, and that's it's because this thing I'm doing doesn't come with a blueprint. It doesn't come with a manual, a how-to manual. So Dr. DeLacy is real helpful in that perspective. But as far as black troopers within the department, I would tell you that I have less friends than what I started out with, and they're mostly white. I have some newfound white friends who are supporting me through and through with this. But I would say that the blacks that I do have friends, they do it in a tiptoe manner. They're tiptoeing and being very careful to talk to me, to speak with me and things like that. So I guess I consider them associates, but they're tiptoeing. And like I said before, that the colonel is giving out promotions like it's candy on Halloween. So I kind of get it. They want to safeguard their families, but this is bigger than myself and bigger than those guys want to tiptoe around and play with this situation like Ronald Greene didn't lose his life.
Have you do you have a legal defense fund, anything along those lines? Anything set up?
No, I do not. I do not have a legal defense fund. Like I said, this thing doesn't come with a how-to manual. That'd be a great idea. I guess I'll take that idea. And
who's your attorney?
I just signed on with Ben Crump Law Firm, and co-counsel is Ron Haley here in Louisiana.
I guarantee you, Ben is familiar with the legal defense funds and things along those lines, and so we'll be sure to reach out to him. Folks are asking in the chat how they can assist you in this. Have they notified you? So that statement we read, have they given you a date when this hearing is supposed to take place?
No, there's no date. It's just I sit and wait on an email or a phone call. There's no date when the hearing will take place. All
right then. Well, look, it is, first of all, we appreciate you coming forward, sharing with the public exactly what has been going on in terms of in this department. We know that there are problems all around this country when it comes to police officers, and frankly, there are a lot of cops who won't say anything. They will watch things to allow these things to happen. And the reality is the Louisiana State Troopers have a series of problems that are taking place. Some even want the feds to come in to investigate the department for patterns and practice. And so we'll see what happens there. Carl Cavalier, we certainly appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Folks, back to our Roland Martin unfiltered video in just one moment.
Once upon a time, there lived a princess with really long hair who was waiting for a prince to come save her. But really, who has time for that?
Let's go. Feeling myself. I'm feeling
She ordered herself a ladder with Prime one-day delivery, and she was out of there.
I want some hood girls looking back at it and a good girl in my tax bracket.
Now, her hairdressing empire is killing it. And the prince? Well, who cares? Prime changes everything.
Time to be smart.
Roland Martin's doing this every day.
Oh, no punches!
Thank you, Roland Martin, for always giving voice to the issues.
Look for Roland Martin in the whirlwind, to quote Marcus Garvey again.
The video looks phenomenal, so I'm really excited to see it on my big screen.
Support this man, Black Media. He makes sure that our stories are told.
See, this difference between Black Star Network and Black-owned media and something like CNN.
I got to defer to the brilliance of Dr. Carr and to the brilliance of the Black Star Network.
I am rolling with Roland all the way. Honored to be on a show that you own. A black man owns the show.
Folks, Black Star Network is here.
I'm real revolutionary right now. Roland was amazing on there.
Stay black. I love y'all.
I can't commend you enough about this platform that you've created for us to be able to share who we are, what we're doing in the world, and the impact that we're having.
Let's be smart. Bring your eyeballs home.
You can't be Black-owned media and be scared.
You dig?